Alright folks, today we are diving into something massive. New Gods issue number 1. This is DC swinging for the fences with a story that sparks cosmic epic, past deeply personal drama. We've got new gods, prophecies, intergalactic battles, and moments that hit closer to home than you'd expect. If you've ever wondered what happens when the balance of the universe collapses, when even the most powerful beings start questioning their purpose, or when the fate of everything comes down to impossible decisions, you are in for a wild ride. Trust me, this one's got it all. So without further ado, let's break it down. Our story begins in the vast cosmos of space, where a narrator tells us, not since Amazaxu wove the stars into being, had they trembled so, far, far away, past the upper parsecs of space. Amazaxu had witnessed the great cataclysm. Blinding light and a fraction of cosmic entities vividly illustrate this event. A sundering so powerful, even here, where she had cradled the universe, and galaxies spilled from her amnion. We then get an image of Darkseid merged with the Spectre, his eyes glowing the color of his Omega beams, conveying that it was unintended to happen, something that disrupted the balance. The narration continues. The Great Being knew at last that her time had come. She kissed goodbye to her favorite star, one last supernova before she stilled herself and allowed her end to bloom. Following Amazaxu's death, the narrator tells us, desolation flowered and her unfulfilled dreams drifted out, past nebulas and newborn galaxies full of ancient worlds, where life forms and civilizations blinked in and out of existence. In one of her dreams, she envisioned that when she died, her being and memory would eventually return to that from which all this had begun, to the source. The old gods died. The narration continues. The source, I theorize, is a product of a self-referential void. This great darkness can only refer to itself through the presence of another. For total darkness can only be defined as the absence of light, of life. The source is therefore pure information, the very first knowledge, made up of untainted ideas. It is incomprehensible because it embodies all the many meanings of everything at once. It is a privilege of the gods to touch it, mold it, converse with it, and perhaps even understand it, if only briefly. We discover that this scholar-like narrator is quoting Hemon from the Prometheus Codex. I wish I could tell you more about who or what exactly this is, but I must admit, I'm just as lost as you are. On the next page, we find prophecies inscribed on some form of celestial designs. When the eldest eye core is split, shall the darkness beckon fall upon the age of gods. In the dwindling hour shall come the last avatar made for those who await the eternal. With opulences 8 laid upon hands, the great steed shall rise, and on its hooves shall follow the reckoning of all. Now there's a lot of mumbo jumbo I don't really understand, but I think probably as the story goes on we'll get to understand what it means. But it probably hints or suggests to further events tied to the source. We also see a man that appears to be Metron. It would make sense considering he's the supreme explorer, scientist and inventor among the new gods. The story then introduces New Genesis, a utopian world emerging from the ruins of the old. Two new gods, Lightray and Fastback, discuss Highfather, who to them has changed, displaying uncharacteristic melancholy and anger, possibly reflecting the emotional toll of recent cosmic events, including Darkseid's presumed death. Fastback tells Lightray that another new god, Akala, has asked him to find Lightray because the Highfather has a visitor. This visitor is none other than Metron. We then get Highfather giving a monologue. There was a time when I could stand here and look upon countless worlds before dawn. I knew all their names, and now I am left with only a few. Is there a sadder sight than a fractured sky? Metron responds, you feel it, don't you, Isaiah? The Darkseid is gone. Perhaps you mourn him more than you'd like. Isaiah retorts, your tongue has lost none of its venom, Metron. Doomcrow, in these halls, you will call me Highfather, asserting his authority over Metron. Metron continues, like it or not, I speak the words as told to me by the source, my Highfather. Darkseid is dead, and the forces of balance that held all of creation have fallen from their precarious dance, kind of confirming to us that Darkseid's death is central to this omen. Perhaps they come as harbingers. Perhaps it was the fear of Darkseid that held them at bay. But now, a new hand of darkness approaches. Now comes decimation. Then, on earth, a child will awaken a new god, and all that we know shall be changed. Will we be saved, or is this the harbinger of doom? Who can say? Highfather presses Metron. What is it, Metron? What would you have me do? Metron remains vague, saying, mine is to prophesize. I am but a Doomcrow after all. Kind of being cheeky to Highfather, for kind of giving him the back talk. And he continues, Yours is the hand that holds the shepherd's staff, wise Highfather. What will you do, I wonder? Highfather then beckons Akala, someone about whom I know little and frankly don't care to learn more about. Where is my champion, he asks. Now, seeing Lightyear appear on the next page surprised me. Let's be honest here, folks. No one considers Lightyear a champion. Most people would probably think of Mr. Miracle or Orion. I apologize to the 5 Lightyear fans out there, but we have to be honest. Back to the story. Unfortunately, my doubt about Lightyear seems justified. Lightyear announces, I have come, Highfather. Lightyear is here. What would you have me do? And Highfather kindly dismisses him. I must admit, I found this amusing when he replied, Not you, child. Not for this task. Where is Orion? Next, we jump to Oakstrom 6, a moon belonging to the Blomkamp Mining Corporation on planet Sector 1209. Here, we overhear a conversation between 2 workers, as 2 parademons leap out of the shadows. On the next page, pure chaos greets us. Orion dives headfirst into the fray, battling a swarm of parademons like it's just another Tuesday, punching one clear across the panel. Orion's sheer dominance crystallizes that these parademons are barely more than a nuisance to him. Like flies buzzing around, swatted away one by one. Orion holds up a defeated parademon with one arm, falling parademons lay at the ground at his feet. Now, Highfather calls to him. Highfather assigns him a grave mission he must undertake without question, and Orion's response, pretty much what you'd expect. Yeah, sure, Highfather. What do you need me to do? It's classic Orion. He doesn't hesitate, doesn't question it. That fierce loyalty and the need to prove himself is just a core part of his character. Say what you will about him, but moments like this drive how much he's always tried to carve out his place in New Genesis. To be more than just Darkseid's son. No matter how tough or wild he gets, you can always tell he's striving to belong, to live up to something bigger. We then go to Earth, specifically Glendale, California, and focus on something more mundane than the fate of an entire pantheon, fatherhood. We see Scott Free, aka Mr. Miracle, trying to change the diaper of his and Barda's child, who just peed on him, and for some reason the baby's pee glows. By the way, I've always found his civilian name cooler than Mr. Miracle, especially considering his backstory of escaping from Apokolips and all the crazy experiences because of Darkseid. Scott in his disabled state struggles with the chaos of caring for his newborn daughter. His wife Barda is exhausted, leaving Scott to manage the messy reality of parenting. You'd never guess that 2 incredibly powerful new gods will struggle with a baby, but that baby is also a new god herself, so I guess that makes sense. Suddenly, Orion enters unannounced and undetected, observing how they currently live, likely making him rethink whatever he came to discuss. Scott takes care of his daughter and leaves Barda and their child at home to catch a break. Hopefully, Scott isn't the type of dad who would abandon his kid under the pretense of getting some milk, if you catch my drift. It turns out Scott knew Orion was there the whole time. As Orion approaches him on a park bench, Scott thanks him for waiting, and more importantly, for not waking the baby. It's a rare moment of calm before the storm as the two sit down for a serious conversation. Orion explains the prophecy Metron has shared with Highfather. A child, destined to become a new god, was about to awaken on Earth. But then Orion reveals Highfather's request. Highfather has commanded him to kill this child to prevent some catastrophic future. Scott freezes. His shock is natural, and understandably so. The idea of killing an innocent child is too much for most, especially as the father himself. Orion, clearly conflicted, admits, I know, Scott, something is wrong. Highfather hasn't been himself lately. I've heard whispers. Scott doesn't hold back. No shit, do you hear yourself right now? He asked you to kill a child. A child, Orion. You think I don't know that? Do you think I want this? I have never disobeyed the Highfather in my life. That's why I came to you. You are Mr. Miracle, the only one who could escape me. Take the child, run. I'll give you as much time as I can. But Scott isn't having it. No, I won't. You're not listening, Orion. I'm done with these games. I have a wife and a baby. Olivia, my daughter, whom you hadn't seen until today. Maybe if I'd had a father, I would know how to handle this. But I didn't. I was thrown into the pits. Because New Genesis. Because you had to be saved. I've been trying to escape my circumstances my whole life. But this, I don't want to escape this. I can't. Orion, stripped of his usual bravado, responds in kind. He reveals to Scott what he really truly looks underneath, and boy, it's kind of ugly. But well, I mean, that's what you get being the son of Darkseid. Look at me, Scott Free. Highfather gave me this task because he knows who I am. He knows that the son of Darkseid will follow his command, no matter how terrible. If I find this child, I will kill him. But I know you, Scott. Don't let me do this. This god child is just like you, an innocent thrown into the games of the gods. If you abandon him now, you abandon yourself. Scott can't take it anymore. Stop, just stop talking. Orion places his helmet back on as he turns to leave. Can you look your daughter in the eyes and tell her what fatherhood means? The one thing you can never escape, Mr. Miracle, is who you are. 7 days. I'll give you 7 days. And he just leaves Scott to wrestle with an impossible decision that feels as heavy as the cosmos. Once again, usual Orion behavior. He pulls out a move and expects other people to cover his slack. I mean, it's ridiculous. I like Orion, but bro, he needs to chill. The issue doesn't stop there. It shifts to Kolam, Kerala in India. We see a family desperately running for their lives, pursued by a heavily armed paramilitary strike team. The father clashes his daughter tightly, and before they can act, a soldier spots them. He asks if he can take the shot. The response is indifferent. Bring the child back unharmed. By the parents, it seems they are free game. Gunfire erupts, and the father, out of options, hands his daughter to his wife. A gunshot rings out again and he falls, forcing the woman Mira to flee with their daughter. Then something unbelievable happens. The baby Kamal lets out a piercing wail. His eyes begin to glow and the shockwave erupts, striking the helicopter and sending it spiraling. The chilling narration finally continues the eerie prophecy. In the dawning hour shall come, hence the last avatar made. The greatest steed shall rise, and on its hooves shall follow the reckoning of all. The next page reveals a striking image of the child Kamal, possibly the new god of prophecy, glowing with radiant energy above the chaos. There's something uncertainly divine about him. He obliterates the nearby soldiers in an instant, leaving them disintegrating in his wake. The narration crescendos, concluding with the ominous statement, and the new gods were born. This issue may be the beginning of something extraordinary, but only the journey and conclusion reveal the entire narrative. I'm eager to hear you guys' thoughts on this issue. Personally, I'm still processing it. There's more to unpack, and I need more context to determine where the narrative will head. That said, this issue definitely grabs your attention. The relationship between Orion and Mr. Miracle, two characters linked by their new god status and fathers, is genuinely an engaging duo. Their struggles are relatable and help ground all the cosmic craziness. They make a reasonably strong duo to carry the story forward, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But what about you? Did this issue blow your mind, or are you still on the fence like I am? As always, share your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. I'm intrigued and can't wait to see what chaos unfolds next. Anyways, that's all for me. This is Captain Awesome. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Until next time, stay awesome.